Hello, hello, and welcome back to another story after we've done our shuffle and pull. Now, our overall energy for this card is the lobster, meaning soulmate, right? Either, oh golly, you think you've got it just so, and then all of a sudden, we make a huge mess with the vomit card being the last um, card of the read, or the story rather. And that's the outgoing energy, kind of like the outcome card. Someone is just sick to their stomach, or someone is, people like they vomit talk, like they just say everything all at once. They just can't help themselves, but just spill everything. I'm kind of like that. I don't know what that's about, but considering we've got the spirits card over there and the balance card, it might have something to do with maybe someone's under spell work of some sorts that causes them to be over honest or over authentic, if that makes any sense. Um, who knows? Or it could be ADD. I have that. I don't know if it's ADD or HD. I used to have that when I was younger, but I think the hyper part is subdued itself and just a happy-go-lucky personality at this point. Um, let's see. The splitting of the deck is the Red Rover card, meaning bring someone right over, or trying to playing that game of trying to get someone to come on over to their side. Perhaps they're doing this through isolating this person. Um, that isolation could be forcing them to change in some kind of way, but that's all being cut off at this point. Being cut off, severed. Um, Maybe that plan didn't go the way they had intended or they wanted, whoever they may be. I always love that question when you're sharing some tidbit of information and you're like, oh, well, they don't want it. And they're like, well, who is they? And you're like, I don't know who they is specifically. Kind of trips me out to why even someone would even ask who they are. Because does anyone ever really have an answer for they in general? I don't know. It's usually just some kind of general group of individuals, or someone said, or something. Anywho, back to the story. We have the Justice card in the balance. Then we have the Spirits and the Robin card. Spirits is called spirits for a reason, for those alcoholic beverages. Someone could be under the influence of alcohol, or they could be under the influence of spirits, which is why I was also saying the whole vomit card situation. When someone vomitly speaks something, because they could just have an entity attachment that causes them to do so. Then we've got a friend card, our Robin spirits. Oh, hello. Also the visit from loved ones who have crossed over. Um, then we have the worm card and the knight, the chess player piece knight, which is the horse, looking there right at the worm. Then we have the well here without the handle, meaning that people are pretty much just going there for the gossip and the talk around town. Maybe they just want to accuse or persecute someone. I don't know. And then we've got the boomerang where it's all coming back at somebody for doing it. Um, so there could be someone who is under the influence. Perhaps this person even works in the justice system, because we have the justice and the balance card there. Balance is also the Libra card. A little birdie told me, could have been the spirits trying to tell somebody. Maybe someone's being lured by someone who's supposedly a knight in shining armor, or being lured by chivalry, kindness, politeness. Maybe they're believing that to be the case about someone's personality. someone's being fed something about this person, and maybe it's just not true that that's how they are. Maybe it's like some kind of proposed or being lured, proposed personality in order to get whatever it is that they're trying to get, whether it's just to have them come on over or if it's trying to have them to do something or whatnot. But everything that they have done or are doing is coming back to them with the whole boomerang thing. You can't do stuff and have it not come back to you. It's just the way that universe works. We've got the feather, which is a spiritual symbol. You have the witch's hat, so someone could be putting, excuse me, wow, right on witch's hat. That's on cue. Could go along with the spirits, right? And the bird in your ear. We've got the witch's hat with the feather on top, so maybe this person is putting a little feather in their cap, adorning their headspace. We're just touching the surface on that. We're taking a pause. The spirits with the spirits and the alcohol, and the spirits with the spirit on the feather. We've got spirit all around this balance. Spirit is all around this justice person. Spirit is all around the Libra person. And we're taking a pause here. A small little breath. And then we're moving on to celebrate. Coming back to a place of Zen, which is interesting that we've got Zen and we've got, oh, that's nice. That's a moth. A passed away moth, but a moth just the same. I'm glad to see a moth is attracted and focusing on Zen, though, even though. We've got the celebrate and the Zen card. We're celebrating perhaps with a friend, and we are maybe getting our food intake, maybe whatever it is that we're eating is putting us in a place of Zen of, oh my gosh, that is so delicious. I do not know. We've got our cabin with the long range travel. Someone could be taking a long trip to a cabin. Maybe they're thinking, hey, I think after I celebrate, or I'm going to go ahead and go to the cabin so I can celebrate and find a moment of peace. This is our spiritual connection from the earth plane to the spiritual plane here. Our pillars, our twin flame, which is also there with our lobster and our soulmate. Maybe when someone goes on this trip, they're going to meet their soulmate. Very welcoming here, prosperity, a green little crown. So you're going to be wearing your crown. It's a new thing for you or for this person. They're going to put it on and they're going to see how it goes for a while, right? Let's see. Now we're coming down to the witch's hat, which is known to, you know, stir trouble, so to speak, with our jumpers. Whoopsie. Witches is about magic. Witches about, I'm going to just say fantasy and fairy tale as well. Someone's making lemonade out of their witch's hat situation. Maybe someone was on the receiving end of some kind of spell work, as we said in the beginning. Some kind of, maybe someone was being accused of being a witch and they're not. Maybe someone has some kind of witch-like talent, where other people who are not familiar would call it a witch-like talent. Perhaps someone is taking that leap. This is our jumper card with the cricket and the grasshopper. Someone could be taking a leap somewhere, not knowing how it's going to turn out. It's also a card about prosperity and having really, really good luck as far as it's similar to the pineapple card I know in, I think it was Chinese cultures. Yes, Chinese cultures. It's really good to give a gift of a pineapple because it shows luck coming to you. A gift of the Chinese New Year. That's in Taiwan, Malaysia. Um, it's a season of prosperity and wealth. Comes from South America between Paraguay and Brazil. So it can have something to do with all of those areas. Perhaps someone went to those places to get witchcraft done. Wouldn't that be interesting? They took that long distance travel in order to get their second home. We'll turn the lights on for you. I do have a hotel card in here, so again, I hesitate to even combine it with that slogan, but we will see what happens. We've got this match. Something is igniting. We're sparking some kind of truth here, some additional kind of information that has been separated from this whole situation. Similar situation or limits to categorize, to enclose. Someone maybe want to enclose a fan of some sort. Maybe this is a personal fan, like I'm a fan of yours, or maybe you're a fan of theirs. It could be something circulating. So maybe someone wants to actually prove a point here that someone is actually brave. They are focused. They are kind. They're welcoming, that sort of nature, and they just want to put a stop to it all. Well, let's just put a stop to all this business. I'm tired of hearing about all these things going on with this person. I'm tired of people trying to lure this person in with this gossip and all this spiritual work, and I was going to say warfare. I just want to put a stop to this. I'm a fan of this person. Let's put a stop to this business. Let's make good things out of a bad situation, right? I don't know why I'm integrity wanting to sell your soul. Let's this whole misunderstanding, this whole, there's very unknown parts to this situation. Eggplant, I'm saying that because I didn't know that eggplant was a fruit. I just assumed it was I mean, granted, it grows on a vine or whatnot, so I should have just connected the dots there. But because of the eggplant, I was thinking it's a protein, plus people use it as a substitute for things. I mean, I guess I thought it was a vegetable of some sort. I don't know. Lemons. I know people like to use lemons as centerpieces sometimes to help decorate. Lemons are useful. They're also a curse when it comes to like little fruit flies or gnats. You can put a lemon in a glass and put some plastic over the top with some apple cider vinegar in there, and the gnats will go into the plastic. If you put little holes, the little gnats will go into that, but they won't be able to get out. And I always feel bad that I have to set that up for them. Not always, but I felt bad having to set that up for them when I had to, because it's like, oh, I'm luring them to their demise, and I felt so sad about it. So summertime can be significant. Making lemonade. Making the best out of a bad situation. Something could be a little sour. This is a male energy here with the eggplant. And it could be female as well because we've got the flowers there and they give birth to the eggplant. So I'm not too sure. Not too sure. Or if it is part of a female, she could be not so well endowed. inner chest area, if it's a couple. And we've got the soulmate there, so maybe it is a couple who's been doing this. They've been selling their soul, they're selling their integrity, playing these games, trying to dress up a work situation, right? Perhaps putting a wrench in somebody's plan up here by just saying, you know what, I'm just gonna get this whole fan base thing resolved. Maybe someone's gonna write a song about it. I wrote a song about it. You want to hear? Maybe it's going to be music to someone's ears, even though I don't have the music. I mean the ear card on the table. Maybe lyrics. Maybe someone's going to write a song like it's going to come out all of a sudden as a song somehow, or some kind of creative project. Maybe it's going to be heard worldwide, or yeah, worldwide, because that nation's smaller than world. I don't know, just be mindful. We've got music, business, pineapple, boomerang. The music that you hear while you're shopping. We've got the music here with the balance. Maybe music would help someone work through some of the stuff that they're dealing with. Kind of like, you know, music therapy. We've got the lemons and the boomerang. However you deal with this situation is going to come back to you in some kind of way. Someone could be absolutely sick about the fact that all of this was done to their own soulmate, perhaps. They didn't realize that when they were doing all this shenaniganry. Center of the story. We've got 7 cards, so we've got the brackets. We've got the yo-yo, the brackets, the zen, and the worm. I keep hearing, and I know we've heard a lot about playing stupid games, you get stupid prizes. I mean, yo-yo takes practice. When you first got a yo-yo as a kid, didn't it take practice in order to figure out how you get that yo-yo to come back up on the string? I mean, there's very few people that can go into that and do a yo-yo their first time and understand. Usually it just kind of hangs there, right? It just kind of hangs there unless you put some kind of momentum into it. It could just be a side note, but perhaps there'll be like a fishing trip or something, or a memory of a fishing trip where you can kind of go back to and have some peaceful moments there. Because worms don't like lemons. You only find worms in apples. All right, you guys, I don't know. Some guy's going to take a leap of faith after he has a drink, or maybe he's going to get the liquid courage to be able to make that jump. A fan is dressing up in order to take a trip, a long distance trip to a cabin with someone who is charming and here to help and seemingly one of the good guys, but he's looking at this lure here. Interesting that the robin is not even looking at that worm. That robin, the friend, is looking at that alcohol, that drink, the spirits. The robin doesn't want any part of what's on that hook. The wrench, the period, the 11, the well. for me, when I think of a well, I'm thinking about back in the biblical days where they used to all meet at the well, and they'd pick up those rocks and they would throw them at people who they thought were doing whatever it is that they were told that they were doing, and they would kind of like, not even give them a chance to explain, or they were persecuted before they even had an opportunity to even speak. Spiritually speaking, I mean, the world's not perfect. This is one side out of 10. So, I mean, nobody's perfect. Right? With the wrench and the period, everybody needs work. There's no way going around that. Everyone needs to practice, no matter how you dress it up. Even if they sell their integrity, I mean, you can come back from that. You just make a different choice. Maybe you just practice each time you're faced with another opportunity to choose differently, you can. Most songs aren't written in a day. Maybe someone's in the writing music business and that's going to bring them some kind of prosperity. Maybe someone had some kind of lyric idea, or they had some kind of poetry that became some sort of business opportunity. And that, all in all, is making someone sick. Maybe they just drank too much. They didn't keep it balanced. All right. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and do the Hey Google version, and I will post that onto the other channel that is notated in the description of the site, and also on the description of the playlist. Take care. Make it a great day.